it's about cranes, particularly bridge cranes or similar cranes, where you want to track a location of the hook, sometimes relative location of the hook and the vehicle, or relative location of the hook and the people. The same story, safety and productivity. But let's now define first what would be the task. Now, as I said, sometimes it's just basic XYZ location of the hook. In order to measure, what we usually suggest and recommend, we split this XYZ into X. So for example, there is a stationary beacon, there is a stationary beacon, for example, there is another stationary beacon, and the mobile beacon which is placed on the bridge. So it means that X coordinate is measured against the walls of the building separately. Then you need XYZ. So Y would be this one. So it means that either on this moving whatever thing, cabin, moving something, you measure against this beacon or some another beacon. It depends again on multiple details. But for example, this beacon is used at the same time as a mobile beacon against those stationary beacons. But for this cabin, it would be as stationary beacon. So, and if it's seen, okay, it's not seen, but for example, you have some sort of mast or something, and there's a mobile beacon placed on it. In this case, you track this point and you know Y coordinate. And then, of course, there is a Z coordinate. How you do? Usually, you place the beacons, sometimes not even one, but even 2, 3 beacons, or let's say, sorry, 3, 4 beacons, even more. Let's discuss. So they are placed on this moving thing. It could be, once again, this beacon could be this moving beacon because it looks differently in different setups. Yeah, but sometimes it's not convenient. So anyway, you have X against the ceiling or walls, then Y bridge or this thing against the stationary beacon on the bridge, and then the hook itself against their stationary beacons, which are stationary to this moving thing, and the mobile beacon would be on the hook itself. Hook itself is pretty large usually. So it means that if you want to track 3D, you're often not able just to place where you want to place. For example, here. No, because in this case, this will not see it because it will be behind the hook. Or this will be not able to see it because it will be behind the hook. And you're also limited because, you know, this thing must do the job after all. So very often you place several mobile beacons on the hook in order to provide line of sight. But very often customers want not only XYZ tracking, okay, XYZ tracking, they also want swing and swing in this direction as well. So for this you need to place mobile beacons so that they may be paired. In order to measure, they may be paired, or needs to be paired and seen at the same time. So before we place these mobile beacons in order to provide at least some visibility. So it means that if we are able to measure this location, that's great. Then we are able to measure location of the whole thing because we know that this beacon is placed on this part of the hook. So and then the rest of the hook you can determine because it's not only it's a dot anymore. It's a kind of extended object. But for paired beacons, you must track location of both, and this beacon and this beacon. So it means that either you would need to install more stationary beacons or mobile beacons, let's say, installed like this. So it means that they will be not obstructed by the hook itself. Anyway, so as soon as you provide line of sight, you are quite easily measuring this point with high precision and this point with high precision, and since they're paired, in this case you know everything about this hook, the swing, this revolutions, rotations, and now we know XYZ plus angular location of the hook. But as I mentioned, very often people want to track also this location against the mobile objects. It could be vehicle from where the load is coming, or to where load is coming, or for people, for safety. In this case, the person must have a, let's say, a jacket / the mobile beacon. And these beacons must track not only this, but their mobile beacon on the person as well. So it could be an option. Another option is more drastic. We do not track like this split, X split from Y, split from Z, and this is not tracked by this. So it could be completely different. Let me return everything back, and the system may be completely different architecture. It's not necessarily simpler or better. It totally depends on the details. What could be? Well, as usually, one station beacon, another station beacon, third station beacon, etc. Then you install the mobile beacon, install, for example, whatever mobile beacons in order to provide coverage. And in this case, you simply track this mobile beacon in the map of station beacons placed around. But there could be some drawbacks. Which one? For example, you would have to track this while the height would be maybe even above the station beacons. In this case, you will not be able to track Z. You will be able to track XY pretty precisely, but Z will be imprecise, so you need Z. So in this case, it could be still a combination. XY you always track against those station beacons, but Z you are tracking just as distance meter of this line. Sometimes it's based on our system, but sometimes even mechanical height distance measurement due to this rope whatever thing. And also a relative position of the person. You may track against this moving bridge, or against their crane, or against something, or you can track against, and then they simply say, okay, I know the location of my person, I know the location of this, then I can calculate the distance. It's also possible. So ultimate answer is that, first of all, there are many cases like this. Yes, it's possible to provide the exact solution. The details do matter. So send us the details, and we would be able to suggest to you the optimal solution for all kind of bridge cranes for safety and productivity. Thank you very much.